Hello and welcome to the SHIPSHAPE podcast, a series of podcasts where we meet amazing people and talk about their experiences, personal, technical, and all related to the maritime world. Come and dive in, dive in.
On the SHIPSHAPE podcast, we are delighted to speak to Victoria and Rico from NautiStyles, which has the accolade of being the most watched US-based yacht walkthrough YouTube channel in the world, garnering more than 4 million views per month. If you want to know how to get to this top spot on yachting YouTube, we've got the answer. So we pick their brains and find out what they've been up to recently and their top tips for getting ahead. So lovely to see you guys. Thanks for joining us on the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
My name is Georgia Tyndale, and I am joined by
Talhabati. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. Great to have you here. And
Good to be
we
here.
are looking forward to hearing your stories and learning from your experiences. Yeah. So where should we start? Right in the beginning or right at the end?
Probably in the middle somewhere might be good.
In the middle somewhere? Okay, so what are you thinking? Like what is the background to all of this? NautiStyles now has become this thing, this big thing, right? How did it start? Where'd you guys, was it the US?
Yeah, definitely. It started about 7 years ago as well, almost 10 years now, right? We got into boating.
Yes.
Together. And as we were looking for buying our own boat and buying a boat we could live on, as we started exploring all that, just realized there wasn't a lot out there to be able to just really see different types of boats, and it was very limited and primarily was just broker type videos or like a super beautiful almost music videos. And there was just nothing really sort of a TV style show that you could really feel like you're exploring with somebody. So it started out about 7 years ago. I started a nautical blog called NautiStyles on Instagram, and obviously a website, a blog. And as we started to go to more boat shows and just starting to get more content, we started doing Facebook Lives. And those did really well, and we would just do like, super casual, obviously live walkthrough of the boats, and took off. It was doing really well. And I was at the time working in commercial industry for a long time, 10 years. And as COVID hit, right before I put out, Rico said, like, we did a couple of tours actually in Cannes. And Rico said, like, you should put
like 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, you should put those on YouTube. And I was just like, I don't understand this whole YouTube animal. Like, it's just so like, it's not monetizing. I don't quite get it. Like, and he's like, well, these are really cool, like cool tours. You should just put them out. So I was like, I'm not an editor, okay, I'll try. So I did my very best basic edit and from the YouTube live, and from Facebook Live, and threw it up on YouTube. The channel just exploded. First video monetized it. Second video, just went crazy, and COVID hit. And at that moment, the whole commercial industry in Hollywood shut down. And Rico basically said, well, I guess you're doing YouTube now.
Well,
yeah.
There's a sign, like now it's not just, what about this or this? It was pretty easy because, the one thing was shut down. The whole production was shut down in Hollywood, and including the commercial, obviously. So that was a great opportunity. It was like, okay, maybe you just do full-time YouTube and see what happens.
Yeah. So you're really taking an opportunity out of a bad situation there. You see the difficulties of COVID and think, well, might as well have a go.
And people were so interested in it because it really just took them. So the problem was, it was a lack of content, because obviously all I had at the moment is everything that we've shot during the last few shows, but none of it was really shot for YouTube. So looking back at those tours now, I'm like, I cringe, because I'm like, this is it's not really the right format. But at the time, that's all we had. So I started repurposing the footage and re-editing and just learning, just learn myself how to edit. I just like taught myself, and just started doing it. And I guess it was such an escape for people at the time. I mean, in general, everybody on YouTube did so well because people wanted to escape. And this was something that people really couldn't do, and it really, really took off. And yeah, here we are.
And then we were thinking, initially we were thinking, okay, but we need boat shows. We need to film brand new boats because that's what people are interested in. And then of course with COVID, there were no boat shows. So we kind of, okay, what can we do? Like, how can we film boats for people? So we reached out to local brokerages and started filming pre-owned brokerage boats. And
it was
loved it.
Like so well received. People were like, this is like, this is so interesting. This is what I would be interested in. And, for a lot of people, COVID was like, just sort of a life-changing experience, realizing life is too short and just wanted to, when this is over, this is what I'm going to do, or, just like, what can I do now? And a lot of people have bought boats, sold homes, moved, all those different things. So I think it was just a kind of a perfect storm for us. And, we're very fortunate that it worked out, but it was also challenging trying to get the content for sure.
Yeah. So where were you filming those from? Exactly.
Well, we live in Marina del Rey, lived at the time in Los Angeles. So yeah, we were surrounded by boats, 8,000 boats in the marina. So it was just a matter of finding interesting ones to show. So
and convincing brokers that it's a win-win situation for them.
Yeah.
I mean, now like it's a lot easier, but in the beginning it was like, what do you mean you want to film the boat? Like, how much do I need to pay? It was like nothing. For free. You don't have to pay anything. We don't take any money.
That's worth mentioning that we don't mention enough on the channel is that we actually don't accept any money, don't charge any money. We don't work for hire for any of our yacht tours. We obviously get approached all the time and we turn it down because we want to be able to keep our independence, keep our integrity, and only show what we want to show on the channel. So we only do 4 or 5 videos a month max. So it's there's other channels that do 12 to 14. Our concept our concept is different. So we do very
that
minimal.
means if you found a boat that you thought looked really cool, but then you went on it and actually you thought it was pretty dreadful, would you do a very honest tour? Would you give an honest review? We would usually leave because we're not a review channel. We are a yacht walkthrough channel. It's reviews well, first of all, we wouldn't be able to be on many vessels if we just went and did our straight up honest review of every boat. I don't think that's going to go well in this industry. Second of all, I think people are interested in seeing something if they're going to go look at it for themselves and they're going to see some small negatives. There's no point. We focus on the positives, and usually we choose the boat that doesn't have many negatives. Because why? We only got 4 or 5 chances a month to show something interesting. So we just feel like there's no point of showing crappy boats. Why? Let's show stuff that's different, unique,
We have shown boats which were 20, 30 years old and needed a little bit of TLC on the exterior or on the
interior. We do mention it.
And then we do mention it, but it's not that we nitpicking. It's like, oh, this hinge is not right, and oh, there's a little bit of oil in the bilge, and I mean that's something. If somebody's interested, they go through the due diligence, anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. And so, what I thought was really interesting was that you said it all started from like Facebook Live. So this totally wasn't part of the plan. You guys were just like, oh, let's just start broadcasting this, and people were like, yeah. And then it just snowballed into hundreds of thousands of views. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Millions in some cases.
Yeah.
Millions, right? And so how, I mean, because NautiStyles itself, the YouTube channel you're saying is relatively new then. COVID.
Yeah, it's 2 and a half years. It's almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years now, yeah.
I mean,
end of the year, right?
No, technically full-time officially it would be April. So yeah, 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And even in that 2.5 years, you guys have probably seen like the landscape change and just YouTube and the internet and everything, change a little. How have you perceived that? Has it worked for you or like, content producers like you?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely changed. I mean, there's a lot more creators, which I think there were there's a lot more creators in our space that are coming up, which is, I think, exciting. It's such a big space. We are always supportive. Like we don't have any competition that we feel like all the, I call them yacht tubers that are, in our space, a handful. We have a WhatsApp group going. We all friendly with each other. We just had dinner all together in Cannes. So it just, I feel like there's no point. There's so much space for all of us. We all completely different from each other. We all have very different way of delivering content. And I mean, there's no really a couple that's doing this, at least successfully at the moment. And there are a lot of new people up and coming, and we meet them at boat shows. They come up, say hi, and ask us for tips. And I'm all for it. Like, I think the more the merrier. There's no reason why not support each other.
Well, I mean, look at HGTV, right? I mean, they're a perfect example. I don't know how many renovation shows, different shows they have, and how many home buying shows they have, and all work out for them. So
yeah,
I kind of feel like everybody's a little bit different and has a little secret sauce. And yeah, I think it works.
Is there a boat TV? Do we need boat TV? Is that what we're missing?
We need one. Start one.
Yes.
So in terms of your earlier background, do either of you have like a nautical background?
Well, yes and no. I mean, yes.
How far back are we going?
How far back are we going?
Like, no, I didn't start sailing at 9, or I mean.
Well, I spent a lot of time with my grandpa as a child on the boat, but just going on, small boats going fishing in Germany. So yeah, so that was my boating background, and then a little bit of hobie cat sailing and little lasers, once a year in the summer.
Well, that's the hard sailing. Nice.
That's fun.
Yeah, but I mean, we got into boating together.
But we got into boating together, and then
what did you guys start
with? More with our boat just sold.
It started as Rico said when we met and started dating. He said, I kind of would like to live in a boat someday. I said, that's great. Show me what you're talking about. Because I love boats. I'm all into it. Like I'd be interested.
Yeah.
And so he took me aboard of this one boat. Not going to mention a brand. It was a 30.
Never mind.
It was a 35-foot old sailboat, and we both walked in.
That's what he had in mind. No way.
Well,
really?
I don't think he had anything in mind. I think it's what we could afford at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we kind of both went on board to check it out, and then walked out, looked at each other, and we're like, I don't think this is it.
Oh boy.
And I just said to him, like, I think we gotta like experience different boats and see what we like. And it started with sailboats. And I said, like, I think you gotta get your ASA certification and just let's start chartering, because that's something we could figure out and do. And so that's what we did. He went and he got it certified, ASA certified, and joined sailing club. And we started chartering different sailing boats, splitting it with friends and cost, and just going out in different sailboats, everything we could charter, everything we could afford to do.
Monohull, catamaran.
Yeah. And then
I think that's a really good point, actually, because I think when people think about getting into boating, it can feel quite inaccessible, obviously from a financial side. But as you say, if you're chartering, if you split it with friends, if there's a group of you, it can actually be a good way in, can't it? If you don't have that immediate, capital. Oh
yeah, for sure. And then it's fairly affordable, actually.
Yeah.
Because even on a monohull, let's say you're chartering a 36-foot sailboat monohull, you shared with 6 other people or 8 other people, which is still okay on that size boat. It's actually pretty affordable.
Yeah, it's definitely very doable.
Yeah.
Started like that, and then we just we were thinking maybe to get like a small center console and maybe not live on it first. And little by little, as we were shopping, it just got bigger and bigger. Maybe we should get something we can spend a weekend on, and maybe we should get something we can spend a week on, and maybe we should just live on it. So it just like progressed and we ended up with basically a 47-foot powerboat.
Okay.
But, yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah,
which we just sold.
Which we just sold 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
I have a power boat myself, 40-foot, and like it doesn't have the aft cabin and blah 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 and everything, but yours probably did. A stateroom in the middle and this and that, and that's comfy, right? And did you do anything exciting with that? Where'd you go with it? Where'd you take
I
it?
mean, just around LA, Catalina,
Yeah, close by
just close by. Yeah,
destinations.
we didn't do. I mean, we would charter on in the Caribbean and stuff. So we did that as more of a trips, and then obviously crewed.
We did a lot of whale and dolphin watching.
Yeah, we did a lot of.
So
whale
no
watching with
destination,
it.
just going out in the bay and just see what marine life was
Amazing.
around, and that was always fun.
What kind of boat
Yeah.
do you have?
Mine is a Lures. It's
Okay.
Oh, okay.
1989. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
but I like the
Professional.
hull because the older boats, they have a thicker hull, and I got this down from Boston to Virginia, all on the outside, and
Mhm.
she didn't care. She's like, yeah, woo. And like, yeah, a smaller boat or and a newer boat is the crazy bit as well. I don't think would have done the same. Yeah, I would have been freaking out. It would have just been getting tossed around because I was doing 50 miles offshore. Yeah,
Yeah.
so they take it well, but so cool. And so now, so you alluded to this boat is sold already,
It's sold.
right?
Yeah, it's
Now
gone.
And
we're
then
waiting
what-
for our new
what-
boat.
Yeah, what's happening now? What's the
Well,
new dream?
I mean,
What's
we
the
did
upgrade?
we did get a little intermediate boat for Miami.
Yeah, I mean, we are waiting, we're building, just assuming everybody knows, people don't know.
Oh.
What's the new thing?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. That's right. I forgot
What-
about
Tell us
that,
the news.
actually.
Tell us the big news.
Tell
You've
us.
sold
What
the
do you
little
mean?
boat.
You're saying that people which are listening to this right now are not watching and following us on YouTube?
Not yet, not yet.
If
They
they're
will
not-
after
if they're
you
not
tell them
already,
what we're
they will
about to
be.
do.
Yeah.
Little
Uh,
shameless plug.
So
What are we doing?
we commissioned and ordered a Bering 75 Explorer yacht, just a steel
Oh,
aluminum
boy.
build. I know. That's what we think too. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's a huge
That's
step up.
huge. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're gonna need
massive.
a crew for that one. Love it.
We will, yeah,
have
we-
a crew.
Yeah.
We're going to have two extra people. And yeah, we also want to do like a little bit of a charter. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
In the Bahamas, at least starting in the Bahamas. So
Amazing.
it's
So
a
it's
lot
literally
of,
it's gonna be doing a north-south trek like regular like, or what? Is it gonna
You
be
mean
doing
like-
a snowbird route sort of consistently, or is it gonna stay in one place, or?
we don't know exactly yet. I know the first season we're gonna be in the Bahamas.
Yeah, we haven't exactly decided. We're still a bit out, so we'll see what the world is like. You know, it's great to
Yeah.
make plans right now, but you just don't know. You kind of have to be prepared for anything.
Yeah.
So I think once we get a little closer, the plan is to definitely have the first season in the Bahamas. That's where we'll start, and then we'll see where we go from there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's an Explorer yacht, so who knows what we're gonna do.
We have a long range.
Exciting.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So you've obviously just bought a boat, so that's pretty cool. So what are
Yeah.
your top tips for people wanting to go to buy a boat? Did you go through a broker? Did you how did that process work for you guys?
Well, this is a little different, I guess, for
Yeah.
us. I mean, if we would speak of our first experience with our previous
Previous
boat, I
boat.
think would be maybe a little, I mean, this is different when you're getting into building a semi-custom
Yeah.
Explorer yacht. So
Mhm.
of course, we've had a relationship with the shipyard that started without any thought that we ever gonna buy something like this. We just went to visit and completely fell in love with, with
The product.
the product. So, but I think we can speak to our first experience, which I think was very interesting, and it probably will resonate with a lot of people that are out there shopping, because we were not taken serious.
Mhm.
A lot of brokers didn't, really give us time of the day.
Mm.
Okay.
We didn't know what exactly we wanted because we were a little bit all over the place, which I think is
Yeah.
completely normal.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like I do have a broker's license in Florida and in California. But I think if I talk crap, I think it's perfectly fine because I'm talking crap about the whole trade.
Myself, yeah.
No, but jokes aside, so like Victoria said in the beginning, when we gotten into it, there were certain brokers. It's like, okay, just send me everything you find, and then I'll do the call, and we'll take it from there. I'm kind of thinking this.
Send me what you want to look at and I'll schedule it.
So you're saying like, okay, you want me to do your job now to kind of like figure me out and see what maybe works for me.
Mm.
So we had quite some some interesting, one broker to another until we found a broker which was super helpful. And he didn't really care that we didn't exactly know what we want. He showed us a couple of different boats and also took us out on one.
Yeah, which
after
was
a
a
boat
huge
show.
thing. That really was, he was the first one to really take it serious.
Yeah.
And we bought a boat with him. And it was actually pretty quick. So I think it's just find a broker that understands you. A lot of people are, they need time to figure out what they want, and find somebody who, I think it is really important. Yes, you can do it on your own. If it's your really first boat, it's probably best to have somebody who has experience.
For sure.
So find somebody who believes in you and understands you, just like a good real estate agent. It's the same, same thing. Have somebody on your side who gets it, and find somebody. A good tip for a broker is if somebody wants to have you as a client for a long time, not as your one-time deal client. And you'll feel that when you find the right broker.
Especially after the purchase.
Yeah, exactly. Well, even before, you'll know that they're not just pushing you into every single thing. They're asking what you want because they want to be able to sell you this one. Most of the brokers know once they sell you this one, you will eventually sell that one, sometimes pretty quickly, and buy another one. So you will feel that. I think that's really important, to find a good broker that's going to take care of you.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting you were saying about not being taken seriously because you didn't know what you want. I would predict that the majority of people, when they think about buying a boat at the sort of lower end, they don't necessarily know what they want. If they're just getting into it, surely you just need someone with a bit of patience and guidance who's going to help you figure out what you want. And then you get people into the kind of, not gateway drug, but you know what I mean? Then they're in it, they've got their first boat, and they'll become more knowledgeable as as they go through, and probably upsize, which people often do, don't they? As you have.
That 2-foot Titus is real for sure. I'm more like a 10-foot Titus. Is a real disease.
No, I mean, I agree with that. And I think part of it is when you get your first boat, it helps you figure out what more you need, right? You're like, I need a water maker, and this extra straight
how you use it,
more storage, and next one should have sails, or maybe you had a mono hull and you're like, I'm gonna go for a cat next, see that. And I think that I think we were reading stats somewhere. It's almost like, and I'm sort of making these up as well, but it's like if you stay in the industry for like 4 years, then you're like, you're basically staying for life, sort of. Okay. And almost like 40% of the people in that who end up staying for life, like end up upgrading, right away. If not right away, they have like the 5-year mark or something. I think it goes back to the same thing, is that they figure out what they need, how much they can afford. Maybe sometimes they'll sort of conserve their funds or whatever, maybe like save more for the next, boat or whatever, And I think what's really interesting about you guys though is that like the jumps, the last one was 47, new one is 75.
That's a jump.
But with that vessel, it's almost quadruple the boat, just because it's such a different thing, and gross tonnage and volume. It's
actually way more than quadruple. If you think about it, what was the gross tonnage on our Meridian? Oh my God.
34, 28,
28. 28 gross tonnage. 174. So it's a huge jump in volume.
5-6 times. Wow.
It's a big difference.
How custom have you gone with this? Like, do you guys know exactly what you want now? Are you like literally choosing the bathroom fittings? Like, what are we doing?
It's a semi-custom. So interior is very custom. So it's there are certain things you can do. Obviously, you cannot change bulkheads, and you cannot, not change in the hull shape. But our hull is hull number 1 of the 75 model. So we're actually working really closely with the shipyard on tweaking some things that are, it's probably the next, I'm assuming like the next one is going to be like, the 75 is getting NautiStyles version, whatever that is, because we're changing some stuff which they're adapting.
Are you going to be branding it
to the model? I don't know. We were kind of joking about it with the shipyard, because they're like, people are just going to come over and say we want the NautiStyles version, which is possible because we're changing a few.
You should get commission on that now.
Well, like we said, we're all about just keeping it real and independent. So the second channel, we didn't want to, for the first channel, to feel like this becomes a Bering channel, which of course is a huge journey for us. We're building a dream yacht. So it's really something we wanted to share. And we were looking for the shipyard when we were searching that we could really work with and partner with in a way that we could show it all. It was a big thing for us to have this relationship. You know, it's really special, which I think we're super lucky that we found us.
Yeah. So tell us about that. Tell us about your plans for this second channel. What will you be doing with the new yacht?
So the plan was to start the second channel so we can really dedicate it to this build and really get in detail and more of a tech talk and get more, you know, as fun it is to see the progress, but also people have so many questions about, you know, stuff that we don't have time to cover on NautiStyles. It's always fantastic when people tell us like, your channel NautiStyles is so informative, because I think primer like reason what we want with it is for it to be entertaining, is for a whole family to be like, most of the people watch it as a TV show, they watch it on their TV, the whole family watches it, and that's really, you know, kids and wives and husbands together.
We just met so many families at the Can show, like it's amazing.
So that's really the goal, for it to be entertaining. So when people say like, well, it's also super educational, sometimes we're like, really? it's awesome, you know, but we feel like, oh, it could be so much more educational, but also don't want to be boring.
Yeah, you don't want to make it too technical.
So the second channel really gives us a chance to do both and to get a little more in depth of what, you know, what it is to really go and build a yacht, what it takes, which also will be able to like help people, educate them, even if they're not building a boat, what to look for. How to shop for the right thing, you know, how, like, where do you really draw the line of, you know, do you buy a dream boat, or do you just buy a boat you can afford at the moment? And I think that channel is just kind of gives people a bigger glimpse into what we're going through, because it's a lot.
So that will be the channel. The new channel is called Naughty Guys.
Correct. NAUTI, guys, don't do the GH. That's very different.
That's going to be a different kind of YouTube channel.
That's different.
So alongside, so NautiStyles has kind of snowballed into lots of different things. So you also, I believe, have a clothing brand and merchandise. So how does all that kind of fit into the picture of the business?
It's actually funny because the merch was before we even started a YouTube channel. So I did have the Naughty line, and shopnaughty.com is the store. So which is right now actually is in a huge stage of expansion. So we're adding a whole bunch of different products and collaborating with a bunch of brands, and just it's really exploding into like a nautical store.
Yeah. So will you have hard hats and things for the shipyard?
No, maybe we should.
Logo on it.
You should do it. You should do a line of stuff for go around the shipyard. I love
that's
the high
hilarious
hard hats. You should do it. Naughty hard hats.
Hilarious. Totally. So it's expanding. Like we just came out with a collab on the line of sunglasses, which are floating aviators. Yeah, so we're really excited about that.
No way.
Yeah, they're floating.
Yeah, they're kind of the first line of floating aviators on the market. That's a bigger scale. Yeah, so it's pretty neat. And we're working on a whole bunch of stuff right now, actually. So within the next 6 months, the store should be a lot bigger than what it is. It's been, let's just say, it's been neglected by the lack of time. So
you've been busy. You've been buying a big boat.
No, we grow
building
a team.
That's your excuse for everything for the last few months. We've been buying a big boat. We've been busy.
Kind of. We've been busy. Yeah, exactly.
So,
and I'm still running a company too.
Yeah, and Rico has a whole marine company in California, which has been keeping him busy.
This show was sponsored by
Boat RX.
Imagine it's the dead of summer and you're on your boat sweltering. Hell, you might even have that air conditioner running. But what about that nasty generator noise, huh?
Boat RX, an industry leader in highly efficient air conditioning on yachts. We produce power from a variety of sources when and where it's available. Whether that's with energy-dense batteries or high-power alternators, an efficient air conditioning solution can change the whole boating experience.
Your solitude or family gatherings won't suffer from that loud generator noise anymore. Get ready for summer. Check us out at www.boatrx.com.
Welcome back to the ShipShape podcast.
Tell us
Yeah,
about
like-
that. What's that, Rico?
Yeah.
Well, I own a dealership in Carson, which is a little bit outside of LA. We're a dealer for Yamaha outboards, for brake tenders, for Achilles tenders, e-propulsion electric motors, which we actually became now the largest dealer in the world. We just found out. That was pretty exciting.
Cool.
And then on the big boat side, we doing yacht maintenance and yacht management for boats which are not full-time crewed. Yeah,
That's cool.
So
And that
that's
probably keeps you busy,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
yeah.
Trying to juggle everything else.
And I still play
So-
music.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was going to say, though, I do
Yeah,
believe that's not the only string in your bow, Rico.
Yeah.
Could you tell us about DJ Rico, please?
Yeah. So when I moved from Germany a while back to LA, I switched gears. I used to be a paramedic back in Germany. And when I moved to LA, I started driving a stretch limousine for about a year. And after that, I went into my passion, or made my passion kind of like my livelihood, and started producing music and playing in nightclubs and
Wow.
festivals then later on, and became a resident DJ for Insomniac, which is one of the largest promoters in the world. Does like EDC Las
Cool.
Vegas, EDC Orlando, and all the other big
Beyond
festivals.
Wonderland, big festivals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he kind of tried to retire and they didn't let him. So I always say he's like semi-retired. So he still plays some big clubs
Yeah,
and
like
some
a couple times a
really?
month or so.
some
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
good, big festivals here and there. But yeah, it's kind of a well-paid hobby at this point.
Yeah.
It's fun, though.
Will you be having some decks on the new boat?
Yes, we
For
will.
sure. That's been definitely an interesting thing to incorporate. And
Yeah.
sound system, we're gonna have a pretty ridiculous sound system on
Well,
the
you
boat,
need it.
Mm.
You need it.
which I
It-
didn't really
it's-
get to
thank
say.
you. Yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
I just had to, that's like the happy husband type of just let him do his thing, but he
Let him
has
stay
to
happy.
have it.
Well, if you have any parties on board, I think the ShipShape team will be very happy to come along and help try out the sound system at some point.
Yeah.
Come
yeah.
Come
Sounds
on
like
out.
your plan.
Come on out.
Fantastic. So
And-
how do you guys generate, rude question, how do you generate your revenue if you don't get money for the tours?
Mhm.
So YouTube, we make money with YouTube revenue. That's,
Yeah.
that's obviously the main source. Of course, we do some paid integrations, which are, completely separate in the videos. So that's really YouTube, and every other avenues that we have. We also put together sailing, yacht vacations. So we do charters, we
Mhm.
organize charters a few times a year. So we've been doing that on our own for probably about 5 years. And we love it. We like doing it. So it's the next step with our boat is sort of like the next level that we're gonna take that to. That's part of the reason why we're building that boat specifically.
Yeah.
Yep,
Exactly.
Very
exactly.
cool. And then the apparel line, is it revenue generating?
Yeah,
yet,
of
Yes,
or-
course.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
of course, it's all, there's Instagram and there's the merch and all this, it all ties together. But yeah, just on YouTube where primarily the tours are, yeah, that would be our
I
main source of
see,
income.
I
So
see.
thanks
I mean, 'cause-
everybody
'cause
who's
what I'm-
watching the commercials, that really helps.
Yeah, I'm also trying to think about, just again, like we're trying to get new people into the space. And again, and you guys have uncovered this really cool niche and a bunch of cool niches, right? Like apparel, for example, as well. I think there's just like a handful of brands, 4 brands, for nautical stuff. Yeah. And same thing with like the like we were saying, there's a home TV guide, but there's no boating thing. And you guys are the first sort of inroad into that as well. And so it's really interesting how you've got these different pieces, and I'm just trying to knit them together to show people, that there are so many different ways out there. Just once you join the industry, you could do this, or you could do this. And is there anything that we're missing in that picture, just to show people that, hey, there's just There's so many stones that can be unturned. You know, would you add anything to that? The clothes, the videos, you
Well, if
know,
we
the
find one, we'll probably
charters.
launch one before we will tell everybody what to do.
Ah,
Yeah.
very
No,
smart.
I'm asking about the stuff that you've done. That's what I'm saying. Is that out of your experiences,
Well, captaining,
like
you know, is always, you can get,
captaining.
get experience as a on a boat and
Yeah, I
collect
mean,
your hours and days and see.
crewing would
Crewing,
be a great way
Crewing,
to
exactly.
to
Yeah.
get into it.
Rico's got his
Absolutely.
outboard business and maintenance
Yeah.
business, right?
I mean, we both
So you
have
guys are just
captain's
totally making.
licenses.
Oh, very cool. You're both
Mm-hmm.
captains.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yes, we are.
That helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
helps.
And I always say, like, you know, even if you're a couple getting into it and you're debating, you know, if one of you is going to go get a captain's license, debating the other person's going to do it, if you can do it, because it makes it so much easier to communicate, to kind
Yeah.
of speak the same language.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah.
as annoying as hard that test was, I think it was well worth it just to be able to be
I
kind of
agree.
on the same page, like, you know, not
Yeah.
having the same silly questions that, you know, I used to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
And I
obviously
bet
you've
that
both got,
too.
yeah, you've got a lot
Yeah.
of strings in your bow, both of you. Do you feel, this is probably just me speaking personally, but do you ever feel like there's too many things going
Yes,
on?
all the
Yes.
time.
I sometimes feel like I spread myself thin as a freelance writer by committing to, you know, 500 different projects. Do you ever wish you could streamline and just do like one thing?
I just wish I could grow my team faster. And I think that's really I mean, we enjoy like all the, you know, the avenues of what we're doing. We like all of them. There's not
Cool.
enough time in a day. I'm sure that's how you feel, but
Yeah.
we've been expanding our team, which has been very helpful. I just can't, like, I feel like I can't expand it fast enough. We literally just had this conversation over dinner yesterday. I'm like, I think I need another person. So I think that's the only thing, but yeah, it is a lot of different things, but they all kind of come together.
Yep.
Like it's all like,
Yep.
if we don't do this one, it's sort of missing. So
Yeah.
I feel like we have to do all of them.
And where do you see the future of Yacht YouTube going? How do you see it kind of growing? More creators, obviously, but do you see other particular trends you see coming up more?
I think, well, YouTube is going to be the new TV. So
I agree.
I think that like we just launched our Roku channel on Roku. We're launching an Amazon Fire channel, I think next week. So I think that's definitely going to be sort of an expansion of that space. I feel like very few people really watch TV anymore. So I think on demand is really the future of this space.
I think so too.
And you could see the trend that just in the last 2.5 years that we've been at. It's really the people that watch are from all sorts of ages and countries and walks of life. And it's fascinating because every time we meet people, we're like, I mean, it blows my mind. It blows my mind who watches our channel sometimes.
I mean, what really blew me away is like actually before we've gotten into our own YouTube channel, I always looked at YouTube kind of like, oh, it's like, how do you do this? That's kind of the channel, right? You Google like, oh my God, my iPhone is not working the way I want it. It's like, let's look quick on YouTube how to fix it. Until I realized now, like, since we are in that field, and I hear like who else is all watching, and then people telling me, oh, I don't have cable anymore. I don't have TV anymore. I actually only watch YouTube like TV. And I was like, oh my God, I never really thought about this until now I'm watching YouTube whenever I have time, whatever, on a plane or whatever in between on STV instead of watching a movie or something. And it's pretty cool. And another really cool thing, which I find, which is unique to YouTube, that anybody in the world, no matter where, can create content, which is you're not going to find on TV. I think that is the coolest thing about YouTube for me, that I can follow someone's life or someone's content if I'm interested in it, and it never would be broadcast most likely on a TV channel. So I think that is a really cool thing.
Yeah,
and I think the yachting industry has, I would say in the last 1.5 years, you could really feel that it's recognizing that this is, like 5 years ago, we'd have give a press pass, and I was probably like the only one with a press pass at the boat show in the field. But now it's like there's an influencer pass, there's all this things that didn't exist, I would say, till 3 years ago. So that's really exciting. I think that the yachting industry is recognizing that this is really working. We are being taken serious. We're, just from 3 years to this year, you could feel like, the bigger companies, there's still companies that don't get it. Just kind of old school tunnel vision.
Video thing. We don't need video marketing. We can just print pictures of nice boats.
I love when we approach them sometimes, and they literally respond, no thanks, we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing. I think it's the best answer. I'm like, it's not really working for you, but good for you. You keep doing it. It's pretty funny. So sometimes it's still challenging, but overall the trend is this industry is changing.
Oh yeah, I mean,
for sure.
We hear from certain brokers, if big brokerages, without naming any names, but they're one of the top 5 brokerages in the world, where we or other YouTube channels are coming up in their board meetings. Or in their
their board members saying, what about these guys? It's amazing.
I mean that tells you something, that there is a little bit of a change and openness to
or just we were just on board of a super yacht in Cannes, and a gentleman came up and said hi to me on the boat.
Oh, that was cool. Yeah.
And I was, and he said like, oh, I'm a fan of what you channel. I was like, oh, great. Thank you. And he's like, oh, I'm actually the naval architect behind this vessel and that vessel. And I'm like,
and that one. I'm like, oh my God.
You watch our channel?
Seriously?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I love it. I'm like, that is crazy.
Aren't you way too overqualified to watch our YouTube channels?
It's just crazy, but it's awesome, because I think it's getting, the entertainment factor of it is really fun. Because if you are in that industry, even if you have accessibility, you don't always have time to go and look at all these boats, but you can sit in the comfort of your own home and just check out what were the boats out there, even if you are in industry. Just such a cool glimpse into what this world is.
Yeah, I think it's good because you're kind of bridging that sort of gap, because you've got people in the industry who live and breathe it and are maybe more interested in the sort of technical side of it as well, but then you've also got people who just want to look around cool boats, less kind of invested and involved, and it's just a big spectrum of people interested. And I think you can kind of help dispel the myth that yachts is all glitz and glamour, can't you? Because you guys are quite hands-on with your maintenance and things, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Only if we have to.
So maybe with the new boat you'll have the crew to do that for you, or not?
No.
I'm still going to be hands-on.
He has to. I mean, that's the whole point, that you really I know,
right?
I think it's important to know what is.
Well, yeah, I also want to be in the know, and I just want to be 100% sure. Okay, I know exactly what's going on with the boat when we're running, especially with charters.
Well, we are 2 people crew. That's 2 hour 4 crew. We are the crew, so it's 4 total, 2 of us and 2 more. So no, for sure, we're gonna stay super hands-on. That's really, really important.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a lot of just before we wrap it up, there's been a lot of coverage of super yachts, obviously, recently in the news. So, but you've just been at Cannes Yacht Show, and you've seen kind of the state of the industry. What would you say? How is yachting at the moment? Obviously, there's the complications around the war in Ukraine and everything. In general, how do you see the state of the industry at the moment?
It didn't look like it's as heavily affected as some people like it to perceive. Let's put it that way. I think there's a lot of misconception behind what's happening. It was pretty apparent in Cannes during the show too. There were not many Russians not being able to get visas, because normally you do see, in the midst, like all the Europeans, but you also see a lot of Russian clients looking at boats and shopping.
It's a fair proportion of the industry. I can't remember the percentage, but I remember seeing it's 20 or 30 or something. It's the high.
So you did feel it. You felt at this show, it was definitely missing. And, you know, there's a common misconception out there, you know, like we keep hearing like, oh, there are all these boats, they're hiding in Turkey and they're hiding here. And, you know, the truth is if the boat is getting used in the Med and a Russian person who is not being sanctioned at all, their name is not on the list, they just can't get a visa. That's the current situation. You know, like my family has a hard time to get visas because that just by being Russian, that's it. There's nothing else. And that's part of the reason why they're moving their boats to where they can fly into and use them. It doesn't mean that they're hiding, but it's you definitely feel that that's happening. Really hope that just ends and gets resolved, and for the sakes of, you know, normal people that are not really making a difference in what's happening. It's terrible. And but overall, you could tell that this industry is on fire. It is so busy. It's an like all-time high in how many years?
I mean, the last during COVID, obviously the whole yachting industry exploded.
And everyone's kind of expecting this dip, but it hasn't dipped yet.
Well, to your question, to answer your question, I agree with you because you know, everybody's saying like, oh, we're heading for a recession. We are in a recession. It's going to get even worse. So far, I don't know. Knock on wood. I don't see it yet. Like prices have not really adjusted the way everybody was forecasting it already 6 months ago. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I don't know. Like the ordering books are full. So if you want a brand new boat, no matter what it is, if it's a 40-foot catamaran, if it's a super mega yacht, I mean, the books are full.
Yeah, you're 2 years out, kind of like no matter what you order.
So I mean, there's a challenge of COVID-related aftermath where we have shortages in the supply chain, which still, again, you know, keeps the ordering books filled up for a longer period of time, and then also keeps the values of the used vessels up. So quite honestly, I don't really see much of a change in the near future, to be honest.
Yeah. That chimes with what I've heard from other people, but it's just good to get your perspective. So what would be your top tips for other people wanting to enter the glitzy, glamoury, not entirely glitzy, glamoury world of yachting YouTube?
Yachting YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Is it just like hard work, new content? Like it's got to be
just do it. No,
just do it.
No,
do it.
Be consistent. I think that's the biggest thing. If you're not consistent, it's not going to work.
Well, find your niche. I think that's really important. Like, you know, we've met a guy who is doing it just in French for a French market, which I think I think it's great. And I think that I think it's you know, there's
that's his name, right?
I'm not sure. Is that his name?
No, I just spoke French. I just said c'est bon.
Got it.
Got
My
it.
GCSE French is coming in useful.
That's how much French we speak, unfortunately. That's it. But there are like, find your niche, find something that makes you unique, that people would want to watch, and I think the reason that our channel is working is because we didn't come into it like, oh, what doesn't exist? Let's make something that doesn't exist. We were looking for something we wanted to watch, and we created what we wanted to see. And I think that's really the trick here. Like, create what you think is missing, which you would watch, sit and watch there, not what you think is going to get views. And I think that's the, you know, as you see like other sort of a copycat channels coming up and doing it, is not working, because that's not really, they're just doing it, trying to get views. So just be authentic, be who you are, and get into it for the right reason. And be consistent. That's the biggest thing. Like, decide how often you can deliver content, and that's stick to it, you know. So like we have not missed a video since April of 2022. We've done, you know, video every Saturday consistently. There is a trend to take time off of YouTube right now. Like, there's a lot of big YouTubers doing it. We've never missed one.
Since 2020, you mean?
It's 2020. What did I
Yeah,
say?
2022.
2020.
I was like,
April 2020.
Yeah, 2020.
April
Yeah,
2022
okay.
would be less
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, that's
I
not
was
good.
like,
Yeah,
which Saturday did we miss?
We have not missed one, but
No.
there's a trend to do it. But I think if you have a successful channel, you can totally take a week, take a week off, or that's
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to do it, don't do it. Really stick to it. If that means that you're only posting, twice a month, but let it be
Exactly.
consistent.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
And then have you guys uncovered the viral formula yet? I know a couple of your videos have gone viral. Like what did it?
We thought we did, but then some others which were very similar in terms of choice of boat did not. So I don't know.
I think, we have a really, we have a really successful series on the channel, which is affordable liveaboard yachts. And I think that one does really well for us. And that's in general is yachts under 500,000 that you can live on. That's based on our kind of a market value in US, which wouldn't buy you a house on the water, which in this market should be raised to about 800,000, I think. So
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah,
that gap's gonna go up a little bit.
Inflation.
Yeah, I think 800 is probably more realistic. And that, that does really well. I don't know. I feel like we've on Instagram, our reels go viral quite often. I think we've got that one figured out. But with YouTube, I read this advice somewhere a while back, which really resonated with me, which I think is tremendous if you really could realize it. Exactly. Is just don't try to make every video successful, just make videos you're happy with. And it's really, the YouTube is all about that. And it's really true. Like you never go like this. No other channel does this, it's always this kind of a step thing. And it's been so true for our channel.
True.
And so sometimes it's like he takes it more close to heart, he's just like, why is this video not doing that well? And I'm like, it's okay. It's like, it's just, there's so many factors that go into a video being successful. And sometimes you hit everything right. Your view duration is right. Your click-through is great, but it's just not, it's not doing it. It's not going that well.
And maybe don't kill yourself obsessing over the details of why this, why that. Just keep
go
doing
up to the next one. Yeah.
Just put a next one out. And that was the advice. Just put one out, do your very best. If you need to do a little, if you need to optimize it, you think you could do better, do it, but don't go crazy obsessing about it. It's just, there's so much more that goes into that. So I think that's the biggest thing. You can't take it close to heart or you'll get burned out really, really fast.
Awesome.
And what about the interaction with the fans? Do you guys literally some YouTubers will say they reply to all the comments or something? Do you guys read all of them? Do you need a separate team member to answer them? How do you guys approach that?
Well, I would love to have a separate team member, but I think that will create a big disconnect. I would say I read 90% of the comments. I respond to as many as I can, which is a lot of comments. There, many YouTubers I've met, they're just reply to the first, reply to the first half an hour and then forget it. I don't do that. I really believe that is really important to connect with your viewers, to know what they want. So as much as I would love to hand it over to someone, I think that would hurt us because I know what he could attest to that. But usually when I say I know this is what they want to see, that does well.
Yeah.
I will push for video sometimes for a month. Yeah, because I'm
Yeah.
we need to do this video. He's like, yeah, I know. It was the same with our boat tour. Well, tour of our boat. For 2 months. I was like, we need to do a tour of our boat. He's like, why would we do a tour of our boat? I'm like, we need to do a tour of our boat. People want to see it.
It's still the most watched video, right?
So far, it's still the most watched video. So, but it's because I know what people want to see because I read their comments.
Because it's who's interested in watching a video for a 2004 Meridian? Nobody wants to see that. And I was majorly wrong.
Yeah. But I think that just comes from reading the comments.
Yeah, but they're in love with you. They're your fans, so they totally want to know what your boat is, right?
Yeah, I would want to see somebody. If somebody has a channel, show us your boat. What's your life is like? Just show by example. So no, I think comments are a huge portion of a success of the channel. I'm dreadful of the time that I can't read all of them because I know it's coming. Like I'm sad. So I
just
think
get
even if
overwhelmed.
eventually, we have somebody on board that will help with it, I will still want to see the interesting comments, the ones that are suggestions and feedback, and it still would want
weekly
to
summaries.
oh, for sure, because it's important. I mean, not like comments like awesome video, of course.
You can do
that. That's okay. Somebody else can reply, but if it's some great feedback, still, and then of course we have this, crappy comments like total trolls and bad comments, and
that still happens, really?
I read all of them and I post them all on Instagram and our Insta stories. I blast them out and I I respond to them. I enjoy. I do. I totally do. And I really enjoy when people backpedal. That's really fun.
Well, they're probably not expecting, you guys have quite a lot of views and followers, so they're probably not expecting you to actually reply. So I'm sure it's a bit unnerving for people when you do. They feel they can be anonymous, can't they?
They totally backpedal. Yeah, they go, no, I didn't mean that. I love your channel. I was like, wow, really? So it's really funny. But I post them on Insta stories all the time, and like the worst ones that people go, I can't believe you're posting it. But I just think it's, what, all you can do is laugh. It's and I love people's response on Instagram, our subscribers that will reply to it and how upset it makes them, and how they have the best replies, just the greatest ones.
It's like
so
virtual bodyguards.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Nice.
Awesome. So where will people be able to find you if they wanted to?
So definitely check us out on YouTube. It's NautiStyles and the UTI Styles with an S, and Naughty Guys and the UTI Guys. And also definitely check us out on Instagram, all same handles. We have a Patreon as well, which we focus on liveaboard content. So if you're interested in living on a boat, buying a liveaboard, or getting a deeper glimpse into what we're doing with our new build, Patreon would be the place to join. And the reason for a Patreon is not like support us so we can live on, it's really to give people more content. And so everybody from the lowest tier gets a Patreon only t-shirt, and we do a whole bunch of extra stuff that we do. So I feel like the reason we started is to create a community, not to make money. And it's been amazing. Like we have a super cool Patreon community of people that we just really enjoy connecting with. And we also take them on the yacht tours sometimes.
And they offer to ask us questions.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably the easiest way to reach out to us, but we do monitor our website. So of course you can reach out to us via email, and we're really good on that. But yeah, anything else we have? Well, Facebook too. We're kind of trying to be more on Facebook.
Yeah.
And of course, DJ Rico's gigs.
Yes. So that's on my Instagram. Which would be.
Do you advertise that somewhere? Really? Yeah.
Yeah, if I play somewhere, I post a flyer and stuff. Yeah. It would be Rico_rocks ROX_stall. Yeah.
STOLL. But if you go on NautiStyles, you can click and see him pretty much everywhere.
Probably tagged into her posts. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely check us out.
Good stuff. Very exciting, guys. It was great getting all these different insights, so many different sort of industries within the marine industry, so many niches, right?
I know.
And I hope our listeners also got some knowledge, some cool ideas. Maybe again, like hopefully we're hoping to get some brain gears working and be like, oh, I should get into the boating world one way or the other. But again, thank you so much. We're excited about where you guys are going with this. Excited about the future. Good luck with your Explorer boat. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good luck circumnavigating. All right. And definitely keep us posted. We'd love to have you back on at some point. And
thanks for having us, you guys. This was really fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see you on board the Bering 75 then, won't we, Brandon?
Yes.
Yes.
Come party with us. We need a name, by the way. There's going to be a big contest for the name. So
Yeah, we need to
Yeah.
find a good name.
yes, please, if you have some good names, send it our way. And we haven't decided yet, but we might give away like a tour of a boat or a ride on a boat or something if somebody
Do
actually
it.
comes up with the names for us. So that's out there. Come up with a good
Okay,
name for
well,
us.
That's
we
cool.
better get thinking. I'm supposedly a professional writer, so
Yes,
There we go.
please. There's a challenge for you.
Just one last quick thing with the name, like we're always
Yes.
looking at all these different, and they're the funniest boat names all over the world out there, right?
Yeah.
And we always think like, okay, how would that sound if you taking on water and you're in a distress situation? You
true,
call the
and you have to
Coast Guard,
shout it.
and it's like as good as it gets. Well, maybe not so much anymore.
Mayday, mayday. This is as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Not a good name.
So keep
Uh,
in mind when you name your boat, like what does it sound like when you call
Mayday,
a fisherman?
mayday, calling from staying afloat. Yeah.
There you go. Exactly. Or staying,
Yeah.
what is it? Staying alive? Still alive.
Yes.
Just saw
Oh,
a yacht
boy.
at the show called Still Alive, and I was like, that would be funny if you called Mayday.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Mayday,
Oh,
mayday,
nice.
Yeah.
still
I haven't thought
alive.
of it that way. That's a good twist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Alrighty,
we'll
you
never
guys,
be in
thanks for
those
chatting with
situations,
us.
but
Yeah.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
Yeah,
Ciao.
you too.
Okay.
Check back every Tuesday for our latest episode and be sure to like, share and subscribe to SHIPSHAPE.pro.